I'm Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing? You doing okay? You doing all right?
It's been a rough day, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'm handling it. Don't
All right.
worry.
All right.
No, it's an honor to talk to you and such a fun movie. Really well done. Truly, truly.
Thank you.
Of course, I have to ask, when you're jumping into this world of John Wick, where, Chad and David really elegantly kind of laid everything out on the table, how do you put your stamp as a director on it? And what do you hope, what mark do you hope was left on this franchise that other future filmmakers can carry on when they add to the world of John Wick?
I think one of the things, I mean, there's many actually, but of having a true respect and love and interest in what Chad and Dave have, what they did create. And a lot of it, I speak a lot to tone because tone is very important to me. And I think that also it applies to the action, the world, and I just really like that tone that was created. So that was something one I liked as an audience member and as a fan. So I bring that with me, um, and then again, I always I approach something as if I'm not directing it as well, so I don't get too caught up. What would the audience member fan in me want to see? Um, and so there's a lot um, that I want to make sure is familiar in terms of the world, the tone, but then take the audience on an entirely different adventure and experience and new locations that have a different style that feel like they're an expansion of the world. So you can go in different areas and create something new. And then a lot of like us, stamp. I really like that the franchise uh, plays with your uh, plays with your mind a little bit. It's a little bit of subverting expectation. I like to do that with camera work. I've become so accustomed to a camera language. I always consider like the camera is a another character in your movie, and it is telling the audience what to do. The way it moves has become traditional of informing us. We know that we're going to cut to a different scene. We know that we're safe because the camera's lifting up into a wide and the music's coming in. We know we're going to end the scene. And that's when I like to just abuse that, comfortable feeling and just twist the audience. And it becomes a lot of fun. So I hope that continues in of just, you want to go in, uh, it's a great feeling when you go, I did not expect that. How great is that?
Yeah,
That's a great compliment.
I want to say thank you so much for this awesome movie. Thank you for bringing it to the screen and for adding to this world in such a robust way. You did an amazing, man.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you, man. All right.
All right. Hey, David, I'm Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
Good, Mike. How are you doing?
I've seen better days, but you know what? I mean, we'll get through this one. It's better now that I'm talking to
Welcome
you.
to the Continental, man.
It's kind of crazy. I'll say that much. No, one of the things that I love about this world, about the world of John Wick, and as a franchise in general too, it's been really great about diversity, about putting a lot of representation on the screen. And we're
Mm.
seeing that again now with Ballerina, with Eve, who's of Latina descent, and with you, her, the character that you play, her father. That's brilliant as well.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, did you find it easier to, did you find anything in particular that you yourself infused into these characters and their family from your own life to make it feel real and authentic?
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like, coming from like my own family and then being immigrants and moving to a different country that no one really spoke the language, all of these aspects of finding a way to give their children a better life was a clear thing that I saw for 3 decades, or maybe just in my entire childhood. So to be able to infuse a little bit of that in Javier, where he chose to kind of leave a certain group of people that he felt was not going to give his daughter the best life, and he himself was trying to change sort of the trajectory of her daughter's life, regardless of what would happen to him, was very relatable. You know, I didn't really have to look too far, but to just look at my own family and my parents and, you know, the parents in my own close communities about the stuff that they're willing to do for their own kids. And so, yeah, a lot of that was infused in Javier.
It's a story that I think is explicitly a lot more important today too. Seeing the struggles that people go through just to try and get their kids the life that they deserve. It's something that I know a lot of people out there are doing today, and I wish that people would pay a lot more attention to that and give folks a chance because of it. You know, um, I gotta say, you start this movie off with a bang. Literally, the gunfight scenes that we see at the very beginning of this movie with you and with everybody else, it's the best way to start this awesome movie out. And I gotta ask, I mean, can you talk about the training that went into that spectacular action sequence? And of course, did John Wick himself, Keanu, give you any tips?
Well, look, I got to train for 4 weeks in Budapest, and a lot of it was mostly just, I don't want to say basics, but the ability to be able to fight with a gun in your hand in close, tight spaces, with the ability to use your elbows and disarm people. And the biggest thing was that this man was not a killer. So none of the shots, none of the bullets that he took was never to like the head. It was always to like make sure the person was, disarming, disarming, disarming. So a lot of the fight sequences, a lot of the training was about that. Like Javier is not a killer, he's a protector. That was one thing. And so when we were training, Ana de Armas was there, so I got to see her train, and which was like really impressive because I was like, when I would leave, she'd still stay, and I was there for 5 hours. It was just like I was so impressed the fact that she was leading this film and that with that sort of demeanor. But the only approval that I was looking for was Len Wiseman's approval, but most importantly, Chad, because obviously that's his world. He's the architect of the John Wick franchise. So a lot of the fights were sometimes we'd show Sep, and then Len would be there and he directing me and like mostly the emotional aspect, and then Chad would come and be like, okay, we're gonna change this specific fight because it looks better from this angle. Little things like that that really enhanced a lot of the fight sequences. And it was nerve-wracking. It was so nerve-wracking because you're coming in and they're like, you remember that whole fight scene we did yesterday for the practice? Great. Forget all that. We're gonna change it. And you're like, okay, what are we doing? And he's like, and we're gonna do this, this, this. Okay, we got 25 minutes to learn the whole thing. I'm like, okay. But because we had trained for so long, and because obviously I have had some background in choreography and martial arts, that I've at times when I would feel overwhelmed, they were so encouraging, the stunt performers, to be like, dude, we got this. We got this. And it paid off.
As someone who has been a fan of yours, especially your work as Diego in the Umbrella Academy, I knew you could pull it off, man. I mean, like, we saw the action there and we're like, hell's yes, it's the right person to be joining this universe. But speaking of Diego, since you guys are both assassins, Diego and Javier, who do you think would win in a fight of accuracy between both of them, Diego or Javier?
Like knife accuracy?
Or gun accuracy, just aim.
Man, I mean, yeah, this is a tough one. It's a tough one, man, because obviously Diego is a superhero,
Hmm.
and Javier does die.
Hmm.
So I shamefully, I will have to pick Diego on this one,
But only because of superpowers. It's
only
cheating.
because he has superpowers, and I feel that that's the beauty of the John Wick franchise and the movies is that no one is above any special powers, you know?
It makes the stakes even better. It makes everything a lot more deadly. And honestly speaking, everyone's going to be on the edge of their seat when they get to see you as Javier in Ballerina, because this movie is just fire, man. I love it, and I love your performance in it. David, thank you so, so much for everything. This was a blessing. I love it. Thanks,
No,
man.
thank you, Mike. I appreciate the outfit too. It looks great.
Lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's fools just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.